Say it ain't so, Bo. Let's step into the on deck circle.
You're listening to the DFS On Deck podcast, brought to you by LineStar App, the top-rated DFS tool set and #1 companion for DraftKings, FanDuel, and Yahoo Daily Fantasy. Go LineStar Premium now at LineStarApp.com. Now, here are your hosts, fantasy baseball experts Joe Pisapia and KC Bubba.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? It's me, Joey P, Joe Pisapia, and welcome to On Deck right here on the LineStar app. It is me, it's Casey Bubba, and it's you. And we got a great day of DFS for you. It's Monday. It's time to get back to business and a fun weekend of baseball. But of course, Bubba, one of our favorite hitters who's just been red hot. Oh, a knee injury for Bo Bichette. No, this is not what we want. The guy's hitting in Buffalo, and Buffalo seems like it's a good place for doing hitting things. Oh, this is sad, Bubba. I'm sad now to start Monday.
Yeah, it's very sad. Like I saw some news last night that they think it's worse than expected. He could be out till at least mid-September. I'm like, oh, this is garbage. Like, if 2020 is bad enough, now we lose Bo Bichette in like what I call the new Coors Field. This is horrible.
This is why we can't have nice things, but that's all right.
2020.
This is it. We're used to disappointment at this rate, but obviously, you know, there were some pluses as well. There's some positives to take away from yesterday. So we're gonna fly around yesterday's games, get you all set up for today. And want to remind everybody, go to LineStarApp.com. Go get that LineStar app. Make sure you upgrade to that premium product because the premium product is where it's at. I'm telling you, the best optimizer out there. All the best tools you'll find in DFS and the most user-friendly ones too. It's not about being intimidated by DFS. It's about DFS for everyone here on the program. And if you're new to the program, subscribe. Where you been? Come on, let's go. Let's do it. Get on that. And make sure you know exactly when the show is going to be dropping every single day. Just hit subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and get your notifications that way. So again, we're on iHeart, iTunes, Google, Stitcher, everywhere you can find us. We're omnipresent, which is a big word for Monday morning, but I just, obviously the toilet paper is paying off. The toilet paper is paying off. Let's just be honest. The word of the day, toilet paper, that is, for those of you wondering who are like, oh, I don't get that joke. Well, come on. You never heard the word of the day, toilet paper joke. I know it's Monday, but come on. So let's fly around yesterday, Bubba. Nick Anderson got a save there as the Rays beat the Blue Jays 3-2. No Bo Bichette. All of a sudden, you had 2 runs. I don't like this. No fun there. Indians over the Tigers 8-5. That's the 20th straight time, by the way, the Indians have beaten the Tigers. Wow. Isn't that stunning to you?
I didn't know it was that much. I know there's it's the Tigers being the Tigers at 20 in a row. My
20 straight time. It's getting close to a record. Yeah. It's like, I think the record is 22 or something like that for one team to beat another team. Yeah. That's pretty crazy. 2 home runs from Reyes there, but Bieber also, by the way, looked like Bieber again. Like, man, that guy's just smoking this weekend. Scherzer fans 10 to beat the Nats 6-5. So that's good news for Max Scherzer owners everywhere. 10 over 7 innings. That's the Max Scherzer we know. So he's healthy. That's good. Oh, look who decided to have a good game. Zach Wheeler. Oh, great. Thanks, Zach Wheeler. Porcello gets the loss in this one. The Phillies win 6-2. So great. 7 glorious innings for Zach Wheeler. Now, jerk. Anyway, the Braves 4-0. They blanked the Marlins there. Markakis did have 3 RBIs in this one. So still crazy to think that he's back playing baseball. Dallas Keuchel gets the W here over Dakota Hudson 7-2 for the White Sox, as the Cardinals will try to play 17,000 games in the next 15 days. Kyle Tucker with a home run here. Look at that. Game-ending dinger for him in the 9th. 3-2 over the Mariners. So good on Kyle Tucker. I mean, are we going to see Kyle Tucker emerge this year at some point as the prospect that he was touted as, or is it still going to take another couple years? Or in your opinion, is he maybe not worthy of all the praise?
I hope we do. I'm pulling for him to do it. I don't know if it's going to be this year, just in this massive chaos, and they still won't give him consistent playing time. Like it seemed like he had it for a while, then he didn't. I think the talent's there. Maybe it's next season. He just needs to play every day and not get shuffled around. Problem is he has Dusty Baker there, who just loves Josh Reddick and other veterans. It's like Dusty Baker's MO. So good luck, Kyle Tucker.
Yeah, also in that one, quick note, Alvarez dealing with the knee again day to day. God, this is not good. Not good at all. The keeper league values, man, this is not good. Kepler and Dobnak, I mean, kind of led the Twins here. Can you imagine Dobnak's ERA is at 1.42? He's got 4 Ws already. Beat Brady Singer in this one. Dobnak just with smoke and mirrors and ground balls, man. Like that's what he's doing, and it's working. It just goes
It's working
to show
big time.
you don't have to throw 98 to get wins in the major leagues. Take a good look, boys and girls. It's about learning how to pitch. Arcia and Hura both hit home runs there as the Brewers top the Cubs 6-5. You've also got John Gray striking out 7 as the Rockies are now 13-8. They beat the Rangers on Sunday. 13-8 are the Rockies, man. Everyone thinks they're going to go away. Not me. I think this is going to be what's more 2020 than the Rockies getting in and making a long playoff run.
They're pitching well in Coors Field. That is the most 2020 thing ever.
Yeah. Freeland's been okay there. The kid was actually okay there in his first start.
My goodness.
Now you got Gray. Gray's actually always been.
He's usually been good there.
Yeah, he's usually been okay. It's the Freelands and the Marquezes that you go like, okay, hold your breath and see which guy shows up. Brandon Lau, by the way, what a season he's having. 7-5 over the Blue Jays in this other game here. That's a crazy 4 home runs in a row, 4 games in a row. Like that's Lau's just on fire right now. Piscotty also home run, and the A's just pounded the Giants 15-3. Fires with the win there. Then, of course, you had the Diamondbacks beat the Padres. My God, there's so many games, Bubba. This is amazing. Yankees beat the Red Sox 4-2, and the Dodgers beat the Angels 8-3. So amazing in that last one, too. Just real quick, Jay Happ actually got a W, if you could believe it. The ERA is down to 6.39. So we'll see if this return to the rotation
6.39.
Well, here's the thing: if whatever it was is fixed now, that's good because he becomes a very nice option for a Yankees lineup that we like a lot. So this is a good thing. This is good. I like this. This is nice.
We have a nicer thing.
Yeah, all right. So let's look forward to today's games here. We got Kyle Hendricks and Kwang Young Kim in that first one because once again the Cardinals are going to. Every time you look up at a scoreboard, it's going to say Cardinals on it. Just so you know, 2-3 times a day, maybe 4 or 5. It depends. But that's going to be a 5:15 start as of right now. Let's skip on to the main slate here. Martin Perez against Jordan Montgomery. Oh, Denny. Yeah. All right. So Gio Urshela is just 3.2 on FanDuel. Let's start there. Had a dinger this weekend. He's all the way at 4.8 on DK. Again, the bats of the Yankees are in that mid to 4 high range. I don't know how I feel about Jordan Montgomery. He's just 7.8 on DraftKings, which is tempting as a secondary arm just to get the W. On FanDuel, I'm not doing it at 7. I just don't think there's enough upside. But at 7-8 as the secondary arm, can you get behind that today?
Yeah, you kind of have to as at least a potential secondary arm because when we get through the slate, the pitching's atrocious. It's really bad. So if you get that win equity like you're talking about, a Boston team that's offense really hasn't got clicking, Montgomery does have some viability for sure.
Here's your little Oppo one-off. Verdugo's got a 900-plus OPS, basically somewhere in that 950 range against lefties. So his ownership will be low, but he's hitting left-handed pitching. So he's just 2.6 on FanDuel and 3.4 on DK. So I would have him in lineups as well, just because the numbers are good, just flat out like that. And in terms of the Yankee lineup, Torres is still 2.9, even with the good weekend. Clint Frazier's is 2.9. There's some thump there. And that's the other thing, too, is that, you're missing Judge, you're missing Stanton, but the Yankees continue to plug along, and the Red Sox just, I don't know, man. We knew it was going to be a lost season for Red Sox, but when you're watching it happen, it's still kind of stunning in a way, right?
Mm-hmm. The other thing I'll say with the Red Sox bats, Kevin Pillar, he's been leading off for his lefties, 25 on FanDuel, 31 on DK, if you're looking for something there as well.
Yeah, that's a good one, too. I'm also not I'm not against going Oppo tonight on this one, too. It's saying, okay, well, the Red Sox have been bad or whatever. You start to look at these values of, like you said, Pilar, Devers, Verdugo, especially on FD, that, in a tournament, maybe there is like a Red Sox get right game here against the lefty with some of the big righty bats like JD Martinez and stuff and Bogarts. So there's a little bit of me that kind of looks at this and go, you know what? Maybe in one lineup in an alternate, when you're doing multiple entry,
definitely
maybe you take a shot on the Red Sox tonight. Just throwing it out there. It's not a terrible play at all because they're a better collective than they've shown so far this year.
Yeah, their pitching's going to be atrocious all year. Their bats are actually good.
Yeah, the bats are good. Yeah, forget Martin Perez. I mean, geez, Eovaldi, Martin Perez. This is like the who's who of the waiver wire from 2011.
Pretty much.
That's what this feels like, right? This rotation. It's like, what year is it? And what can I get off the waiver wire? Oh, these guys? Oh, good. Anibal Sanchez against Tuki Toussaint at 7.1 on FanDuel. Sanchez is 6.7 on FanDuel. Then on the DK side, Sanchez 7.2. Tuki is 7.7. What are your thoughts on Tuki tonight against the Nats?
Lots of strikeout stuff. The consistency and location, like he walks too many guys at times. These Nats bats are quietly getting going.
Yes.
So it's hard for me to buy into Toussaint. FanDuel has actually started to price a lot of these bats appropriately, but there's a couple bats I'll get to in a minute after you give your take on this that are way too cheap on both sides.
Well, speaking about cheap on both sides, I mean, it's like a giant red flag here on DK that Victor Robles is 2.3 and Adam Beaton is 2.6.
Yes,
ridiculous. I mean,
that's just I don't care how cheap they are. Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah, like or how bad they're doing. Really, like who cares? Like whatever that is. And it's funny because it basically carries over on FanDuel. Robles is 2.5, Aiton's 2.6. Garcia and Thames are also very cheap. Kurt Suzuki is another guy too, 2.1. Kurt Suzuki can have a good night too as a free square.
He had cleanup yesterday.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Keep an eye on where he is in the lineup. So, because that dude can swing the bat still a little bit. So I'm going to stay away from this one. This is another one of those like multiple outcomes, but I do like cherry picking the cheap guys. Soto's always a good play. Ozuna's been good lately too at 3.2. He's kind of stepped up here in the void of Acuna. So good on Marcell Ozuna trying to earn a big time contract yet again.
One of these days.
One of these days. Anything else to point out here on either side of this one?
No, it's just one of those because they finally got Juan Soto to 4,600 on FanDuel. So if you want to use the wraparound with Robles and Eaton, you can get a little stack if you wanted to, and makes Juan more affordable that way.
Yeah, you almost have to have Eaton or Robles to make that all work too. It marginalizes the salary a bit. Robert Gesellman is going to be making a start against Jorman Yamamoto. This is another one of these games where I just throw my hands up because I'm not, super thrilled about any of these pitchers. As Bubba said, there's going to be a lot of weird here. Tukey's looking better and better as we start to go through.
That's the bad part about this. You're just going to plug your nose and play tonight.
Yeah, that's all right. Just keep going here. In terms of some price variances and things like that, Dominic Smith is just 3.3. He's been pretty decent. Got a good matchup here against the righty, so I would think about that. Conforto with 3.2. The Mets bats are very reasonable. Alonso's come way back down, and Jesus Aguilar on the other side of this one, 3.2. He's just a good play right now. He's just a high floor play. He's just been excellent. He's in that 2 spot. He's getting plenty of at bats. He's driving in runs. He's doing everything you want. On DK, he's 4.2. It's not terrible, but I don't know if it's the kind of upside I'm looking for. I can't believe Pete Alonso's still 5.2 on DK. I'm fading that like monstrous. Like can't even get near that. Any other feelings or thoughts on this one?
There's a kind of free square, and I want to get your opinion as the Mets guy. Luis Guillermo is 2,100 on FanDuel and 25 on DraftKings, and he's just been quite quietly productive hitting in that Mets lineup right now.
Yeah, if he's in the lineup, I get it. I don't know if you have to tonight because there isn't that one big like 11K pitcher out there. So I think it's only a matter of if you've decided to go up and get every big bat you want and you're looking for one. Yeah, okay, that's fine. I mean, Yamamoto, I don't think that much of. So I'm not, he's hittable. So I'll tell you who hasn't been hittable over his last 2 starts is Hyunjin Ryu. He hasn't walked anybody. He's got more than a strikeout per 9. And all of a sudden after that first start, I know the ERA still looks big, but the last 2 starts have been brilliant. So like the last 11 innings, you look at it, you're like, damn, like all of a sudden he looks like Ryu of last year. And I would be in on him today in cash. I'm actually most confident because of the trend. And I know that sounds crazy because you're saying Ryu has been terrible. Yeah, but the trend has been much better the last 2 starts. I think he's got a good shot for a W against the Orioles, who I understand have been good. I'm giving the Orioles credit, everybody. I am, but I'm just going to give Ryu a little bit more at 9.4 on DK and then over on FanDuel at 9.3. I just think he has got the best ability here. And, I trust the Blue Jays bats against Alex Cobb.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that. I think in cash, you can go Ryu because at worst, he's got a good floor. If they hit him a little bit, I don't think he gets destroyed. He could have a chance to win in this one. But in tournaments, you mentioned that Red Sox stack. I want an Orioles stack. Like they're cheap every night. They've been hitting great pitching. They've been doing it all. So I think, and they're still cheap on both sides for the most part. So I am all aboard. Like Santana hit 2 homers over the weekend. Nunez, Alberto keep doing their thing. I have no problem going back to another Orioles stack to be contrarian because on a slate with such bad pitching, Ryu is going to be very popular for good reasons. So a little bit of Orioles action is going to help a ton. Yeah,
no, I think that's look. It's funny. We don't say this very often, but tonight might be a night to get some multi-entries in there. Like we're more like, well, I play the single entry. We try to help people win money, make sure that they're playing in a field that's more compatible for them. But sometimes you have to look at the slate and realize what it is. And sometimes you're better off maybe scaling down the the budget of what the individual buy-in you're doing, and maybe just spreading it out. And if you're doing $5 or $10 single entry, maybe you do like a $3 multi-entry and you do 3 lineups. You know what I mean? Try to play it that way. I think that's what's kind of shaping up like tonight, and especially in this next game here, because the next one's Matthew Boyd, and I want all the White Sox today. I'm going all the White Sox. Grandal 2.9, Abreu at 3, Eloy Jimenez at 3.4 is an incredible value on FanDuel. Anderson at 3.2. On DK, you got to pay for him. They're 4, 5, and above, basically every single one except Encarnacion, who's just 3.9 still, who's not had a good year. But against Matthew Boyd, I feel like even he's in play today. I feel like at 2.7, if I want somebody cheap, I will take my chances with Encarnacion against Matthew Boyd as long as he's in the lineup. Not that Gio's any good either. Gio Gonzalez is, whatever the over is in this game, give it to me. That's what I want. Yeah. I want the over in this game.
That's pretty much how I see it. Gio hasn't made it through 5 innings yet this season. So I agree. I want all the White Sox versus Matthew Boyd because people, I think, are going to try to throw Boyd with the bad pitching tonight and hope he bounces back. Yeah, I'll have White Sox bats there. And on DraftKings, Detroit's so cheap. If you want to stack like an expensive stack, say you want Juan Soto and some guys, you can sprinkle some Tigers in there against Gio because they'll hit him too.
Yeah, Victor Reyes is just 2.4, hitting the 2 spot there. It's makes a lot of sense for sure. You gotta keep attacking Tyler Boyd. You just have to.
Yes.
I mean, until he proves otherwise. I mean, Matthew Boyd's just been terrible. Did I say Tyler? Tyler
Boyd.
Tyler.
I was letting
Matthew
Boyd.
Yeah. That's all right. No, don't never let it ever. Don't ever let it go. No mistakes, and if we catch him, we fix him really quick here. The Booby's on the mound. Chris Bubba.
The Booby.
Bubba's on the mound, and he's taking on Matthew Whistler, who I heard had a wonderful bar mitzvah. No, Bubby's on the board.
It's quite the mensch.
He is a mensch, isn't he? Bubba's a mensch. It's my friend's Nana used to always call him Boobala, and I used to tease him about it all the time. And he's like, "Shut up, dude!" And every time
now we got a Boobala,
and now we got another. She it's just so funny. It's just a great word, Boobala. It's just cute. I like it. See, that's what you get this morning on a Monday. You get a little Boobala. I'm not starting Boobala against the Twins. I just want everybody to know that. I'm going to give him $10 for his birthday and a check and a card. That's it. That's what I'm going to give him.
Like the good uncle you are. Yes.
Like the good uncle I am. Just move on. Whit Merrifield is at 3.4. Jorge Soler is just 3K on FanDuel. What? And Hunter Dozier just 2.5. What?
Mm-hmm.
There's another game where you like the over. It's feeling like a lot of offense tonight, Bubba. It really is. So How are you attacking this Twins lineup? Because it looks like KC is very user-friendly on FanDuel tonight.
Casey's very, very user-friendly. It's going to be Whistler and then Smeltzer, the lefty behind him. So I like it even more for guys like Soler that's cheap and whatnot. So you can definitely get some Royals in there. And then the Twins, anytime you get Cruz versus a lefty, he stands out right away. Kepler's hitting lefties fine. They're priced up for sure, but Sano, Buxton are a little cheaper on FanDuel. Polanco's still only 28. There is definitely value on both sides here. And Polanco's been staying cheap on DraftKings, so I have no problem attacking Bubala for sure. Mm-hmm. But don't forget the Royals bats. They're going to be there as well.
Yeah, Rosario and Polanco are 4.3 and 4.2 respectively. On DK, you're not getting a whole lot of discount, but you're getting discount compared to Nelson Cruz at 5.7 and Mitch Garver at 5, and even Miguel Sano at 4.9. Kind of, the cheapest guy in this lineup when you look at it is Byron Buxton at 3.8, which is not a terrible play tonight. I got to be honest with you. Like that's the other one too. Is maybe you look a little elsewhere and site to site, you pick your guys. On FanDuel, he's also just 3K too. So I just wish he was in a better spot in the order.
They have him at the bottom. It just stinks.
Yeah, well, him and Kepler and Buxton right now are kind of in this little clump at the bottom, which is not terrible. I mean, that's what makes the Twins so staggering is that's their bottom of the lineup tonight. And they move Mitch Garver up to lead off. And you just go, wow, that's still pretty good. It's a long night for Bubala. Zach Davies at 7.8 on FanDuel against Jordan Lyles at 6.6. Another stellar pitching matchup. Look, Davies is capable of a quality start, but it's just, do I want to take that chance? And the answer is no to me. Fernando Tatis is up to 4.5 on FanDuel. You do have some value there with Chu at the top at 2.9. Gallo's just 3.5. Also, they're in Texas. Keep an eye on the roof situation tonight in Texas as well, whether or not it's closed or not. Tommy Pham was dealing with some calf issues, so the price is tempting at 2.8, but it doesn't look like he's 100% healthy. So
He's
I
not going
tend
to
to
play today.
Yeah, he's not going to play.
He left with a wrist injury, and he's supposed to see a doctor today.
Oh, okay. So they got the wrist and the calf now too. So you got two
Yep.
things going on there with him now. So he's going to be out. Keep an eye on who is in that lineup in his place. Could be a nice free square against Jordan Lyles. Just keep an eye on that, and also keep an eye on if Will Myers gets moved up in that lineup to the 4 spot, because that would be him or Hosmer. I guess would be the logical move. Just see who it is.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Hosmer. He's 33 on FanDuel with 37 on DraftKings. Is actually rather affordable on this slate. He's homered in like 3 or 4 games. He's actually doing big boy things right now instead of hitting ground balls all the time. So I like Hosmer as a cheaper play today, especially if you're stacking or even a one-off in cash. No problem at all. Yeah,
we're already into the 9 o'clock games, and we basically only said we like one pitcher, just in case you're keeping track at home. It's that kind of a day. Kyle Freeland against Brandon Bielak, Houston Astros are at home here in this one. Freeland's been better, but again, not a big strikeout pitcher. Neither is Brandon Bielak. So I just kind of, again, roll my eyes here. If you want to take a shot at the W and this really cheap guy at 6'3", okay, that's fine. As a secondary pitcher, Bielak is 7'4". There's also some love for Freeland here too. I mean, you're going to have probably Alvarez out of the lineup again. Not that the rest of this lineup isn't good. They are, but I don't know, man. Like, it's just, this is another one where it just feels like Bizarro night, and maybe the Oppo plays, and one of these is going to hit, and it's going to hit big. And it's going to make cash games tough tonight. Like, that's the thing. Like, cash is kind of, it's a tough slate for cash, the way things have lined up here in terms of where games are being played, who's on the mound against who, all of that jazz. So what are your feelings on this one here? Take me through your thoughts and what you want to take out of this one, if anything.
Kyle Freeland is definitely an SB2 and a GPP. I'm good with that because this Astros offense, we know, like you said, it's very good, but they even were a little quiet over the weekend against some Mariners pitching staff that's not like great. So I don't mind Freeland, whose velocity's up and looking a little better there. And then I think the Rockies, usually I temper away from them for the most part, but facing Bielak, I think is a good way to attack things here because they're going to go low owned and get like a Daniel Murphy at 28, a Mike McMahon at 26, Garrett Hampson's out at 25, he's been leading off every day. There's a lot of value with them on FanDuel that I think can be quite interesting at extremely low ownership.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that's the right sentiment. Chris Bassett at 7.5 has also pitched pretty well this year against Zach Gallen at 9.7. That's the FanDuel pricing there for them. Gallen 8.8 on DK, so he's going to be highly owned. Bassett's actually more than him on DK's 9.4. And this is exactly why this game scares the crap out of me. Like, because you see even site to site, giant variance between the pitchers of who they like more and why. And this is a tricky one for me because Gallen typically in a night like tonight, I would actually be looking for because he's pitched pretty well. That A's offense is tough and Bassett's been pretty good. And I'm just worried about the path to the W. And I feel like there's no margin of error tonight, and Zach Gallen's not a guy who's going to go 7 and strike out 15. You know what I mean? Like, that ain't happening. So he ain't Scherzer. So if I'm going to pay 9.7 for this kind of a game, I struggle with this on the single pitcher site. I don't struggle with Robbie Grossman at 2.7. Love that value. Once again, the Matt boys, Chapman and Olsen, continue to be in the mid 3s, which is always great. And Conda's 2.5. The A's are very affordable. I can also see going after Gallen tonight just because, or just fading away from this game altogether. What side are you on?
This has that 4 outcome feel to it, Joe. It really does.
God.
In a big way. But it's weird on DraftKings. Gallen at 88 going to be popular, but that price point fits on this slate. Like, he's worth a gamble. We're on FanDuel, like you said. I don't mind Chris Bassett at 75. This D-backs offense, they've had their moments, but they're not world beaters. And we've seen Bassett pitch great. So at that price, even if he gets hit a little bit, he can produce probably a quality start for you at $7,500. I don't hate that in cash even for Bassett. It's a tough cash now, as we said. It's not the best looking cash play, but I could see the appeal at 75. Go get some bats you like a little more comfortably.
Yeah, and look, continuing on here, Ross Stripling, who's a good pitcher. I always worry about how long is he going to go in the game and things like that, and that's fair. But against Justin Dunn and the Mariners, I have less concerns. I feel like he can get some strikeouts and get a W here because my faith in the Dodgers right now is just so high compared to everybody else. Mookie Betts was, continued to be unconscious. He's just terrific. Kyle Seager's had a good season. Bellinger will have Bellinger games here. Don't worry about it. And just, the rest of the team is just rolling along. And I just, looking at things here at 8.1, to me, when you're looking to save some money tonight in GPP, he's the pitcher. He's the guy. Like, I just feel like at 8.1, you can go with Stripling. get the W. Are you going to get like a huge output? Maybe not. But are you going to get enough strikeouts in a W? Probably. And that's just kind of my take on this one. Do you think the same thing? And do you think it carries over? Because if you look on DraftKings, he's just 7.9, also pretty darn good.
Yeah, you got to use Stripling on both sides. He's cash viable. He's GPP viable. This Mariners team strikes out a ton, like a lot of strikeouts with the Mariners. So Ross Stripling's got some big upside. The win equity, like you mentioned, is great. This Dodgers offense over the weekend just blew up. We've been waiting for it. They're just crushing everything right now. So Stripling can go out there, throw 6 innings, 7 innings, give up 3 runs, and then might have leave with a 6-run lead. So yes, use Ross Stripling.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. And in terms of the Dodger bats, like you know what to do. Like
Stack Dunn is not that. Like he's a prospect. He was from the Mets. You know, he's talented. He's not ready for this.
No, he's not. He came along in that deal along with Kalenic.
That great trade.
And yeah, it's too early for this. Don't even start with me about that trade. Don't even do it. But Kyle Seager at 4.8 on DK. It's funny, Betts is all the way up to 5.9. The DK pricing, look, for the big bats, you're paying basically $5K for everybody. But if you're having, let's say, Stripling and Gallon tonight on DK, you can make it work. Like you can actually get some of these big time Dodger bats in here and make it all fly. All right, last here we have Tyler Anderson against Griffin Canning, another one where, sorry, Griffin, I just don't feel confident enough in you, even against the San Francisco Giants, to get it done. Mikey Yastrzemski continues to be high, 5.3 on DK. It's amazing when I see that price next to that name. I can't get over it. Mike Trout, 6.1. He's our guy crossing the 6 threshold, so good for him on there. Where do you cherry picking from this one, or are you stacking against Tyler Anderson with guys like Trout against left-handed pitching like him and Rendon? Maybe I don't know. Are you going to go against that?
Yeah, you're going to want some of this game because it's been so hot in California, like ridiculously hot. It's going to be the ball's going to fly a lot more than normal. I'm just going to put it that way. So your Trouts of the world, your Anthony Rendones, who's heating up big time, they're in for a good spot. Fletcher's a little cheaper if you need to save some cash. But on the Giant side of things, a couple I'd look at, like an Alex Dickerson hitting early for discount at 2,400 if you want to stack this game, and then see where Austin Slater's playing because he's getting on base and stealing bags. So that's where I'd go. And if you're playing a catcher site on DraftKings, Max Stassi usually plays versus lefties and is just unconscious against them right now.
Yep, there you have it. All right, boys and girls, it's that time again. It's time to call our shot. Bubba and I are going to pick some guys to leave the yard. And on Saturday's show, we were both right. Boom, bingo, bango, the double bomb. We love that. So Bubba and I were hot this week, man. It was a good week for home run calls. What do we have, like 4 between the 4 of each, I think, or something like that, right?
No, we had a few. It had to be 3, probably 3 each at least.
Yeah, I was going to say 3 or 4. Like we were on fire this week. So it's time to carry over those good feelings this week as well. I'm going to go and look, I'm just going to shoot fish in a barrel here. And that fish's name is Matthew Boyd. So give me Eloy Jimenez at 3.4 over on FanDuel. Yeah, I got to pay more for him on DK, but I don't care. I don't care at all. You know why? Because Matthew Boyd gives up a lot of home runs, and Eloy Jimenez is heating up. He's just 4.5 on DK as well. So I think that's a really good ROI for my dinger. How about you, Bubba? Who's leaving the yard for you?
I'm going to have a little fun with this one. There's this guy named Martin Perez pitching for the Boston Red Sox. And I'm not going to take the easiest one here, but give me Clint Frazier going deep tonight. A little bit of savings for you on the sites. And he's going to go deep. He'll probably be one of like 4 home runs for the Yankees, but we'll take Clint Frazier.
Yeah, it's going to be some home runs hitting tonight's Yankee game. I'm pretty sure about that. And if you're pretty sure about winning some free stuff, make sure you're following us at LineStar App over on Twitter, and you can retweet this segment, win some free swag here, and give us your home run call too. Play along with the boys. That's what we want to do. We want everybody involved. Go call your shot, and make sure you're following us on LineStar MLB as well. You can follow myself at Joe Pisapia 17 and KC Bubba at KC Bubba. Look at that. That's so easy. I love how that easy that is. So that'll do it for us today. Have a great day of DFS. It's tricky out there. Make your lineups carefully. I think we pointed that out. The pitching's very tricky. Maybe get some Oppo lineups in there. Play some multi-entry. Scale your entry fees down. Play more lineups, because I think that's what it's going to take tonight. And we don't say that very often, but when we do, you should listen. So that'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. There's nothing left to do now except step out of the on-deck circle and into the batter's box and go yard. We'll see you next time, kids.
You've been listening listening to the DFS On Deck podcast, brought to you by LineStar. Hit subscribe, tell a friend, and stay tuned for the next episode from fantasy baseball experts Joe Pisapia and KC Bubba.